Hello, my name is Mankey, and welcome back to Tier List Week. We cover the LEC, we cover the LCS, we cover the LPL, and we would like to welcome our good old friends to the most dominant region in all of League of Legends, or in the case of gaming language, the most OP region in all of League of Legends, the LCK. You all know the rules. This is a tier list and all kinds of stuff. So, without any further introduction, let us begin. I think this is going to be a pretty easy tier list to even rank. So let's just see. Hey, DN Supers. This is their new name, by the way. Into the crap you go. Into the crap you go. Um, Breon. Let's look at Breon. Mm, even the name changes are good. And Teddy's going to be playing. I think Teddy's decent. So, these crap or just crap? I will put them in the least crap. And I will put BNK Fearex with Dable, Vikla probably going to come in, or maybe Daystar coming in. Clear Raptor is still there. Kellen is still there. We saw Diable absolutely pop off this season. I think I'll put them in the mid. I'll put them in the mid. I'll put them in mid. And then you got Noshim Red Forest. I think Kingen, Sponge, Scout, Toyon, and Lehans. That looks like a solid team. That looked like a solid team, especially Scout coming back to Korea after so many years. I think it's been like since the Kespa Cup, like way back when we was a substitute for T1 and then failed, of course. So it's been a long time since we see Scout like playing in an LCK team, let alone an LCK match. So for him to come back home and play LCK is incredible. And with Scout being there, I think he's gonna give Nashim Red Force a ton of confidence to win. Do I think they're good enough to win? No. I'll just put them in mid territory alongside Fearex, of course. And then, of course, we get the other five teams. We also get KT roster, the runners up of last year. You still have Perfect, you still have Cuz, you still have BDD, but you lost your bot laner of Eamon and Polo and Ghost. And we don't know what Score is going to be a coach. I think Score will be the coach, of course. So you lose the best two top laners. You still have the mid laner, of course. You still have the jungle in the top. You still have three of the five players that actually made the finals. So it's not like they're horrible in anything. But the question is, can KT roster reach the heights that it did last year? It's going to be really tough. But like a roller coaster, like KT roster, what goes up literally must go down. I think for KT roster, it's going to be a good but not good enough to win LCK kind of territory. And finally, for D plus Kia, you got Siwoo, Lucid, Showmaker, Smash, Career. Oh, D plus, it is mid for you. It is literally mid for you. Maybe I'll put them here as like D tier, D plus, all the kind of stuff. But I think for now they'll be the mid tier. So you got DN Supers, DRX as the 50 feet of crap. Hajin Breon, by the way, in case anybody don't know it, they just renamed the team to Hajin Breon. Got a new sponsor and all kind of stuff. Fearex, Reg, Notchim, Redford, and D plus Kia as the mid, and KT Rolls is a good but not good enough. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you got the big three: Hana Life, Genji, and T1. Now remember, we are focusing mostly on the LCK this year. And by the way, the format is loosely the same thing as the last time. Also, one advice if you're LCK, can we have the road to MSI be in a final, of course, to determine 1 and 2? You're not going to do that? All right, then. Who's going to run the formats again? Right. Hana Life Esports, Genji, T1. The three teams that I feel like they're going to win. But in what order do I put them? You look at Hana Life Esports, and it's Zeus, Peanut, of course, gone to military service, which means retirement after so many years in the League of Legends. So in came Kanavi, of course, Zeka, the Light, Homie as a coach. But the big, gigantic piece is the last year's MVP, Gumiyushi. And we know what Gumiyushi can bring to the table. This guy can pop off in bunches. Not as much, but in bunches, of course. And I believe that he and Carrier are probably like the two best players from that T1 run from MSI all the way up to finals, of course. You can say that. with the back of your hand, of course. So bringing up Gumiyushi, just bringing in the MVP, and for like pennies, of course. Well, not pennies. It's less controversial as the Zeus situation for the last 2 years, of course. But to bring Gumiyushi, to bring Zeus, to bring like the two of the five pieces of this incredible T1 organization, it's going to be incredible with Zeka being in and Kanavi bringing a little bit of an upgrade. The light still in support. A new coach in Home. It feels like a Honda Live Esports win. It feels like Honda Live Esports are going to be challenging the LCK. But I'm not sure they are good enough to win. Let's look at the other team. Gen G. You still have the lineup. Still have the entire lineup. The only change you have to make is Kim. Yes, I think I mentioned in the last year series that Kim is coaching another team. Ryu, from the infamous Ryu Faker moment from way back in the old League of Legends days, the Blind Pick Z days, he's now coaching Gen G. Amazing. He is going to absolutely going to coach this team against Faker. Why? Because League of Legends universe is stupid and we're all just a bunch of noobs. Anyways, Gen G kept the lineup. That's great. But right now they're in teetering edge right now because this is probably Gen G's last chance to win Worlds. Forget LCK, forget MSI. They've already got that in bunches. This is boom or bust right now. And Lord knows this team has to win Worlds, or else this entire roster is going to go down as a failure and they're going to blow up. And you know, Arthur, you know the money situation in LCK. It is not looking great right now. That there'll be some teams that'll be pulling out. Maybe Hanjin Brian will be pulling out, or DRX, despite winning Worlds a long time ago, will be pulled out. So consider the financial situation, consider the roster that they have. It is literally make or break time. We know that Gen G are good enough to win LCK. We know they're good enough to win MSI multiple times over. But I just have a little bit of a feeling right now that I just feel like this is Chovy's time. This is Chovy's year. This is no excuses, no ducking out, no second chances. You got your first, second, and third chances. This is it. This is it. And the weirdest part about it is that Genji has not even made the finals, which is weird. Like, everybody's talking about Genji being chokers, of course, in World's finals. They have not even reached the finals yet, so they don't know what choking means. It's kind of like the EDG version. They're the EDG of the League of Legends Korean, of course. Although they have the more money and the more success and all kind of stuff. So this is put up or shut up time for Genji. And finally, the reigning, defending, undisputed, back to back to back world champions, and probably the most lovable team in all the world to many, many fans, including myself, except for the crazy ones. T1, Duran, Owner, Faker, Carry are going to be in the lineup. But the little change, of course, is in the bot lane. Gubayushi out, pays in. And I watched a little bit of Kesper Cup. Not much, but a little bit of Kesper Cup. And I will tell you one thing. From what I heard, from what I'm seeing, from what I know, to some people, Pace is amazing. But the question is, will he be the missing piece to finally give T1 their first title in like 2022? Since, of course, their undefeated season back in 2022 before Gen G and Unalive Esports taking over the LCK tournament. And what will be the narrative for Worlds if T1 were to win this championship? I think it might change everything because the few years that T1 won Worlds, it's like they didn't win LCK. They were never the favorites. They were like fourth seeds, twice abundance, of course. A couple of times they were kind of like the favorites, but never even gone that. But what if T1 could win LCK? I think it can. We know Faker is borderline decent, not great all the time, but borderline decent. He can pop off when he has to. We know Duran. We know Owner. Carrier. God tier, S tier, S tier rank, support. S tier support and all kind of stuff. We know how we good. But I think Paige is going to be the missing piece for them to finally get over the hump, to finally get over Gen G, and to finally win LCK after all these years. We know what Paige is do. And for him to face off against his old organization. And yes, for anybody who don't know, Paige used to be a Gen G player. So maybe, maybe a little comeuppance into that. Maybe a little rivalry going on. Although you say that T1 and Gen G are already a rivalry 10 times over, of course. But this could be the little spark that can make Pays look like a dominant AD carry. I feel like I feel like T1 are going to overcome their hump and maybe win LCK. But the question is, Akeem, in which order do I put those three teams in? Which order do I feel like they are good enough? I think Gen G are going to keep their roster. We know Gen G are good at LCK, so I'm going to put them here. I think T1 with their new ball lane is going to be close, so I'll be thinking here. And then Honda Life is supposed to be the third best team. So you got your de facto 1, 2, 3 best team in LCK, all that jazz. So these are the tier lists. You got the D's and Soapers and DRX with 50 feet of crap. Brion the least crap. FearX, Runash and Red Force D plus Kia as the mid. KT were also good, but never win LCK. And you got the big three of Gen G, T1, and Honda Live Esports. Yes, this is a quick tier list, but consider the nature of what happened last year, the team roster, and the history. I think this is pretty much an easy tier list. And all of this for like 11 minutes. Great stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and all kinds of stuff. And tomorrow, we're gonna wrap up with some little mix of everything. How everything? Well, we're gonna be covering Brazil and we're gonna cover LCP. Two tier lists into one. See you all tomorrow, everyone.